It was a rainy morning in Manchester. Gray clouds loomed low over the city, and the streets were slick with water. People walked hurriedly under umbrellas, rushing to work, to school, to life. But for Daniel Carter, time moved differently. He sat alone in his one-bedroom flat, the curtains drawn tight, the air stale from weeks without fresh breeze. The walls were covered in faded posters from his university days, dreams of becoming a writer, traveling the world, making a difference. But those dreams were buried somewhere under the empty pizza boxes, half-filled notebooks, and the dust that had settled on his desk like a blanket of forgetfulness. Daniel was 32, jobless and overwhelmed by regret. 10 years ago, he had been full of promise. Top of his class, scholarships, praised by professors. But then came choices, the ones you think are harmless at the time. He had turned down a job offer from a publishing house in London. He said no to moving abroad with his then-girlfriend, Mia, who had begged him to believe in himself. He pushed away his friends, convinced he needed time to figure things out. And just like that, time slipped through his fingers like sand. That morning, Daniel received an email. Subject: urgent, final notice. It was from the landlord. He was 2 months behind on rent. He had 10 days to pay or vacate. Daniel dropped his phone on the floor. He looked around at the mess, his life, his choices, his silence. A voice inside him whispered what he'd been avoiding for years. Wake up before it's too late. The words echoed in his mind like a haunting reminder. For the first time in years, he stood up. His knees trembled, not from weakness, but from the weight of facing himself. He went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on his face, and looked into the mirror. The reflection stared back, not of a failure, but of a man still breathing. That same afternoon, he called Mia. She was surprised. She had married, moved on, but she listened. Daniel didn't ask for anything. He only said, "I wanted to say sorry, and thank you." That small act cracked open something inside him. He began to reconnect with people. His old mentor, a former colleague, even his younger brother, whom he hadn't spoken to in 5 years. One person believed in him again, Mr. Langston, his old English professor. "Your words had power, Daniel," the professor said on the phone. "They still do. You just have to believe in them again." Daniel started writing, not for fame, not for anyone else, just for healing. He wrote about regrets, about silence, about choices. One of his essays, titled "The Days I Slept Through Life," went viral after being posted on a local blog. Within months, he was offered a freelance gig, then another. And slowly, a new version of Daniel emerged. Not perfect, not polished, but awake. 2 years later, Daniel gave a TED Talk. He stood before hundreds and began with this: "I lost 10 years of my life to fear, to comfort, to regret. I waited for change to come knocking, but change doesn't visit those who stay asleep. I'm here to tell you, wake up before it's too late. You still have time. Hope is real. And life begins the moment you stop running from yourself." Everyone has a Daniel inside them, full of potential, buried under distractions, waiting for a reason to rise. Let this story be your reason. Don't wait for a final notice. Don't wait for silence to become your only companion. Wake up, start small, start now. Because hope is never gone. It's only hidden behind the doors we fear to open.